All praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash.
And we see the reality, and we know what we have to do. And we have to get in those communities, and we have to knock on those doors, and we have to convince people, and put them in a car, and drive them, and get that vaccine in their arm. That is the mission. And while everyone else in the country is saying, oh, boo, the sky is falling, the numbers are going up, New York is going to say, yeah. And that means we're going to get ourselves in gear, and we're going to get the job done.
Let it go. Let it go. Yeah.
Shalom, brothers and sisters in this truth. I'm your brother, Mr. LJ, coming to you again with another lesson. Lord willing, this will be edifying to those who are tuning in. And I'm going to start off with the book of Jeremiah 16 and 16. It says, Behold, I will send many fishers, said the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rock. And as you can see in the beginning of that video there, right there, we've got this devil becoming more bolder than ever. Now they are planning on going to basically go take our people out of their house and take them into those concentration camps and try to intimidate them or force them into with the threat of life, okay, and death, and all of the other amenities that comes with living, which is to eat, to force them to take that job. And so now basically Esau now have gone past having a government that is actually supposed to follow the constitution of the nation that they built up called the United States, or Great Babylon, the most wicked queendom ever existed on since the beginning of time. Okay, and so Yahawashi is right now, he has all the prophets, the brothers out there right now, and we are gathering the sheeps, we are gathering the hopefully elect, and afterward Yahawashi is going to place judgment on this wicked nation, and we are going to go and do to them what they have done to us, and let's see how they like being harassed. Okay, I'm going to go into the book of Psalm, and it says, this is Psalms 64, starting with verse 5, and it says, They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of lying snares privily. They say, Who will see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. And yes, they go on. I mean, when you look at it, the whole thing, you know, they go into all the data, the statistics, you know, this and that, and it always points out to Jake being the one that they want to go after. Okay, and they're going to get their wish. Okay, they're going to get the wish that they're looking for. All the statistics and the data coming from Harvard University or whatever these other universities are, and they give it to them, and they are going to go and continue to persecute the poor. They are going to get their wish. Okay, continuing. But Yahawashi shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded, and they are wounded right now. Okay, as you can see right now. Okay, and I use this graphic here with these hornets flying. This is the Esau. This is the state of where Esau is right now, where they're going to be going into all of what they have desired, which is their great kingdom. You know, with all of the financial, the food and entertainment, all of that stuff, looking like the top nation of this earth. You know, that everyone has been fallen to is going to come to naught. Okay, and this is how Yahawashi is going to deal with it. And these people who are lost in the sauce are going to be scattering around, are going to be flying around going, what the hell is going on? Okay, continuing. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of Yahawashi, for they shall wisely consider of his doing. Okay, Salakia, let me go back. So they shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Okay, and that is what you're seeing right now. That is the reason why they're having a hard time with this, because people are now diligently researching themselves. They can see that this man is wicked. He's not focusing on anything. Let's take a look at Esau's history of success. Okay, he had the war on COVID, fail. War on hunger, fail. The world is in dire consequences right now, in dire strait of hunger all over this globe. He failed. Okay, employment, he failed. Education, failed. Despite this nation being the most advanced nation on the earth, supposedly, you have some of the most dumbest people here, and yet still you have these countries like Japan and all those like that has a 99.9% literacy rate, and you get a bunch of dumbass illiterates over here, including the ones running in government. Anyone remember so-called President Bush? Okay, terrorism. The biggest terror is Esau, so they failed at that too. They have to get rid of themselves if they want to get rid of terrorism. Okay, so this man has a record of failure like that. So the people are realizing that, hey, why trust into a wicked man? Okay, telling his bullshit. All right, and continue. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, for they shall wisely consider of his doing. Okay, he's not going to be able to hide the fact that the judgment coming on this wicked kingdom. Okay, the drought, the fires. Okay, when you start seeing all these airplanes start crashing out of the sky because they're not doing the maintenance. Okay, when you start seeing a lot of deaths. Okay, plagues. Okay, everybody's going to realize that this is coming from a power that's far, far up greater than Esau. Okay, and no matter how they try to come and comfort people, people are going to say, go screw yourself, and they're going to leave, and especially these foreigners who are living in this country. All right, continuing, the righteous shall be glad in the Lord and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. And yes, we are glorifying right now the Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, because we are seeing how this is coming through. Okay, they're getting very frustrated. You can see the frustrated and wicked devil sitting inside there in New York. Okay, you've got another devil out there in California. Okay, who is bragging about the fact that they are going to have this system that is going to be able to identify who get that Maxine Waters. Okay, and they're really trying to push this now, rather than focus on the shit and the issues that's going on here in Great Babylon, like hunger, drug addiction, homelessness, unemployment, people are hungry. Okay, all these other different things, they would rather focus on this because why? They know that we are going to inherit that kingdom, and they need to get rid of us. And the only way they can do this is just to come in these subtle ways by going through this. But see, these Edomites who are asleep and those Jakes that joined with them are going to find out that you cannot escape the wrath of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Let's go into the second Esdras 15, starting with verse 15. And it says, for the sword of their destruction draweth now, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. Meaning what? The modern day gun, knife, whatever you have at your disposal. If you're an MMA fighter, you can be using that, choking somebody out, breaking their neck. There ain't gonna be no referee there for timeout. This is gonna be life and death situation here that you can't even begin to believe. Okay, continuing. For there shall be sedition among men. Okay, when it says men, it's just not only men, it's men and women. Okay. And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the cause of their actions shall stand their power. Why? Because see, this is what's happening to them right now. Let's take a look at this. See, the hornet nest has been destroyed. So now the hornets are all fighting each other right now. Where's the queen? Queen bitch inside there is also flying around too. She ain't being protected. Nobody cares. They're all fighting. Okay. And when this is talking about the sedition right here, we're not talking about just Esau against Esau. This is going to be all the nations that are here in this cesspool of shit that's going to be going up against each other. Okay, so if you're a weak nation here with small numbers like that, hey, you're in deep doo-doo. Okay, and continuing. For there shall be sedition amongst men, invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the cause of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. That's men, women, kids. It doesn't matter who it is, like that. Okay. Imagine if you're in Dallas and you want to go to Houston, and man, it's just so much violence going on there, even in your city. But out there in Houston, literally, you can't even get to the border without getting shot or put to death. Okay? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So Miss Johnson next to you right there is going to come walk to your day, knock on your door and go, hey girl, how you doing? And freaking put a gun in your freaking head and blow your brains right out and take that damn food to go feed her kids. And vice versa, you'll probably be thinking the same thing to do. And if you don't think that you can kill somebody and eat them, you're going to find out exactly what really your metal you're made of if you are not in this spirit and this truth and protected by Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. See, people across the other part of this earth, they're already seeing this stuff. They witness this stuff. Bombs blowing off, people getting blown to pieces like that. And they walk around and they go scrap, get what they can get. America has not experienced that, but America is going to experience it on the level that these other nations have. And why? Because they're going to get double that judgment. Okay? Double that judgment. Everybody has a weapon over here, okay? And they live by the sword and they think about the sword. Unlike in those other countries, you only have certain groups that have that. So it's going to be huge and bloody over here. And nobody's going to be cleaning up the crap. Certainly not the Negroes, and certainly not the so-called Latinos are going to be out there cleaning up the dead bodies and all the shit. And Esau sure as hell ain't going to be doing it. So get ready for friggin' doggone a smell that you can't even begin to understand or even anticipate if you've never smelled dead body before. All right? Let's go into Matthew 12 and 27, verse 25. And it says, and Bahasham, Yahawashi knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, that liar, okay, lion, okay, he's divided against himself, how shall then his kingdom stand? And what you have is Democratic, Republicans, you have senator this, senator that, city hall this, city hall that, mayor this, governor this, and all that. You know, the governor disagree with the federal government and all the other different things like that. And what they're looking to do? They're falling apart, okay? And these are going to be the ones who are going to be picking up the swords. See, they have families too. Their families are going to be in dire strait too. It doesn't matter who you are, you're going to get this doggone judgment if you are not sealed. If you're not part of that elect seal, if you're not part of the elect, you're going to get this horrific judgment. Okay? Go into the book of Isaiah 19, start with verse 2, and it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight one another against one. And so back here, let me start again. I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay, now when you talk about cities, we obviously gonna look and say, okay, well, that's gonna be San Francisco against Oakland and all the other different stuff and all that stuff. You're right. There's gonna be gangs in all these different places. People are gonna band together. You can have Edomites with Jakes, banding together, for a common cause. You can have Jakes with Jakes, with Moabites with Moabites. Okay, and when we're talking about the nations against nations here, let's take a look at the 18 nations here. Okay, you've got Elam, Ursher, okay, Aram, which is Assyrians. You got Ishmael, which is the Arabs. You got Moab, the Chinese. You got Ammon, the Japanese. You got Cush with the Ethiopians. You got Mizraim, which is the Egyptians. You got Put, the North African. You got Canaan, South Africans. You got Goma, Turkey. Magog, the Russians. Javan, the Greeks. You got Ashkenaz, which is the German. You got Tashish, the Spanish, and you get the Kittim, which is Syrians, and of course you get Edom, and then you have the 12 tribes right there breaking it down. That is all the nations here, all in here on Babylon that is going to go up against each other. All right? So let me speak it in English here. The Chinese are going to be fighting the Japanese here. Okay? The Indians are going to be fighting the Chinese here. The Indians are going to be fighting the Jakes here. Okay? The Jakes are going to be fighting all of them. The Edomites are going to be fighting the Jakes and fighting them. Everybody's going to go crazy. Okay? It's going to be a chaotic, crazy scene. Okay, now you look at this, and there's some headlines here. I want to show you here. Very interesting headlines here. Okay, and let me bring it up here. These some interesting headlines here. So you can see some headlines here. Biden considering mandatory vaccine for federal workers. That's a huge amount of people, because a lot of people work for the federal government. Why? Because the federal government gives you that retirement or whatever the case is like that. So that should be very interesting, because right now, as it stands, if you read the report, 1/3 of their military or 1/3 of their military is saying, fuck you, man. Okay? So let's see how that works when he go try to make that mandatory like that. Okay? Because most of the military are freaking out of shape. They don't even know how to qualify with their weapon. And they don't know shit. And most of the vehicles are all fucked up in the National Guard and the Air National Guard. Who have they actually gone up against? Okay? So this should be a very interesting thing to see how this is actually going to work. And if you don't see how that works, look, U.S. military is changing the way it fights against because they failed miserably against aggressive adversary who knew its playbook. And this was a war games thing that they went against China over Taiwan, and they failed. Why? Because you get a bunch of fat asses in the military right now only looking for a retirement check. Okay, they're focused right now on promoting fucking 60-inch waistline freaking women to freaking go on flag officers. Okay, they're not interested in doing things the way it used to be in the old days. Okay, so now it's a more passive, girly type military that they have right now. Okay, here's another headline right here you need to look at. Oxford scientists are testing the vaccine for the plague. I bought a video the other day about the plague right there. So when they get old COVID, what are they gonna do now? Say, okay, we need y'all to take this shit here for the plague. The plague is here now. Now the plague does exist for real, but really one case or whatever the case is like that, if that's the case of that, why? You can't even trust this doggone man for anything anymore, okay? Because he's a doggone liar and he's Satan. And they're bringing out each other. They're calling each other out of their bullshit, okay? Nobody trusts any other, okay? So that's what I wanted to bring out here. This is very interesting to see here how this is going to be playing out here. But we have the spirit and this truth. We continue to serve Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and we continue to have this faith. And with that, I'd like to end it here and give all glory and honor to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. I'd like to give double honors and salutation to the elders and brothers and apostles from Great Millstone, and to you brothers out there putting out the ministry every day, and to you brothers and sisters that are tuning in. Shalom.